Well, we're excited to release this year's schedule. Obviously, full of challenges, but we try to make the tournament. The goal is to make the NCAA tournament. So we schedule super hard in November to give us a chance to make the NCAA tournament in November. If we falter, then we have the conference season to make up ground and try to make it in that regard. And so our goal when we schedule is always to schedule to make the NCAA tournament, to schedule in order to get a high seed, and we've challenged ourselves again this year and excited with it. Any non-conference that involves Michigan and Oregon and Arizona is going to be a challenge. And then obviously the extra game that we get in the Players Era event is going to be a good one. We already know that. And we have home games, as many as we've ever had. I think we have 17 home games on our schedule, which we do for our fan base. And everybody wants us to play really good teams at home, but you have to find someone that wants to come here. And the success we've had, people don't want to come to Viejas and play us. And so we're always looking for a home and home with a high major. They're a challenge to get. I like the fact that we're playing UCLA in exhibition game here. Obviously, it's not on the season package, but part of that is NIL is a part of what we're doing now. It gives us an opportunity to raise some money for both programs for NIL. And we just feel the fan base will embrace that game, even though it's not on their season ticket package. A chance to get UCLA in here, and hopefully a full Viejas Arena will be good for all of us. We're playing USD in another exhibition. Those used to be closed-door scrimmages, but the rules have changed, and obviously there were some neutral sites that wanted the UCLA game. But I just felt it was important that we try to play it here on campus. USD, obviously, to play a crosstown exhibition in front of fans is exciting too to me. So we're happy with the schedule. The Mountain West sent us the dates, and obviously when TV picks, those dates will change. The order will stay the same, but some games will flip a day or two either direction, and we'll deal with that. Then that will bring the travel issues into play, and what ones we want to charter and what ones we have to fly commercial, and we'll try to schedule travel to get us the best opportunity to win some of these tough games in the Mountain West. Our final time through the Mountain West. Last trip to Laramie, last trip to Albuquerque, last trip to Air Force, and so I don't think I'm going to miss any of those sites. They're hard to play at, and they're hard to play at that altitude, but we'll go through one more time. It's exciting to add Grand Canyon to the conference. Obviously, they've had a program that's done really good things, and I think that allows us 2 more quality games on our schedule, which I think is important. You know, I think with the recruiting they've done this year, I think they'll be picked near the top 3 or 4 of the Mountain West, and that will give us 2 more good opportunities to build a resume. So I'm happy with our schedule. I'm excited to keep building this year's team in order to play a really tough schedule.
There's no formula, really, knowing what you know about the selection committee. How many-ish of those top flight, Michigan, Arizona, Oregon type of games do you feel like you need to play to really have a resume that they need to seriously look at?
I want to play as many good teams as we possibly can. I think if we don't beat Houston last year, there's an argument we're one of the last 4 teams in whether we're going at all to the NCAA tournament. The year before that, I think we finished 4th or 5th in the conference and had the highest seed in the conference come NCAA tournament time because of our non-conference schedule. So you can use it for seeding, you can use it to make the tournament, and I think we've done a good job of both those things over the last 8 years I've been here.
Coach, you don't have a true road game in non-conference. Any concern that your first one will be a conference game?
You know, I think playing Arizona and Phoenix is going to have a road game feel, you know. So I'm not that concerned with that. We're looking for good home and homes, you know, but I don't want to travel 3 time zones to play one. I want to play someone out here in the West, someone in Texas, somewhere in Utah where we can get a Division I team that's really good to play us a home and home. So every year that's the goal, searching for those kind of games. And last year, obviously, we finished a home and home with Gonzaga, which will be good to have them in a conference a year from now. To have that quality of a game in the regular season. But we're always searching for a good home and home, and we've had them with Cal, with Stanford. You know, we've played those teams in home and homes. But some years they just don't work out. The dates and the opponents don't work out.
It's an acrimony between the Mountain West and departing members. Did you see any of that come out in the schedule at all?
I don't know. It's an interesting question. I'm looking at it trying to think, is the Mountain West giving it to us or not giving it to us? But at the end of the day, when you look at these schedules, you know, a couple years ago, Utah State's picked in the bottom of the conference and they win the league. So with the transfer portal, teams adding entirely new rosters, sometimes be careful what you wish for. So the Mountain West is going to be good. It's going to be challenging. And some of these teams that replaced a lot of pieces, we just don't know what they're going to be. You know, how good are the players they've added out of the portal and what system they're going to play. And so it is be careful what you wish for in the Mountain West.
The game that you're going to miss on the road is Fresno State, which is, I think, geographically the closest team to you, but doesn't it present some travel?
Yeah, the only thing I thought is like sometimes your natural rivals are your other teams in the state, and we're only playing San Jose once and Fresno once. So the two in-state rivals, we're only playing one time. So obviously that makes for harder travel, longer travel for all of us that are only playing once. And so we'll deal with it. We've been through this enough to know what it is and know that the challenges of playing at altitude and on the road are there and they're real. And so we will prepare ourselves like we always do to try to be at our best when we get to those environments.
Dutch, the layered talent level on the roster, pretty unique.
Yeah, we're very deep. And I don't like being this deep because it's not fair to the players. It's great for the coaches, but it's unfair to the players. But when Magoon goes in the portal and Bird goes in the draft, I can't sit there for 3 and 4 and 5 weeks to see if they're coming back. I have to find players to replace them that I feel I can win if they don't come back. And so we've added some really good pieces. And then when you get Bird and Guath to come back, now you're deep and you're talented. And so there'll be guys that probably won't get the minutes they deserve or should have based on the depth of this talent, of this roster. But I also know that injuries can happen. And a year ago when we were rolling along and then we lose Magoon for 7 games, injuries are part of it. And so you have to be prepared for every scenario. We're deep, we're talented, and we have a chance to be pretty good.
Speaking of Magoon, we saw throughout the years his maturation, that he got better. It seemed like every single game he was out there. What have you seen from him in the improvement, and what version of Magoon Walk can we expect?
Yeah, Magoon's coming off the knee issue, so he's really not going full at practice. He's ahead of schedule rehab-wise, and you just watch him shooting around on the side and kind of playing along. You know, obviously, you get excited. I mean, he's out there at 7 foot shooting threes and handling the ball, and you just close your eyes and you think this guy's going to be special. And he's got an NBA future, in my opinion. We'll see if he gets there. Obviously, a lot of hard work has to go in it and good fortune, but he is an NBA talent. So we're excited with Magoon, and we'll probably have him back to practice somewhere in October. So we don't want to rush him back. We know it's a long season, and we want him at his absolute best when he comes back.
And 2 highly rated freshmen, Elsie Harrington and Tay Simmons. What do you like about those skill sets, and how ready are they to contribute right away? Yeah,
both freshmen are very good. You know, Tay's a little bit behind because he had a hamstring issue at the end of conditioning in the summer, so he really isn't practicing yet. We're still rehabbing him. Obviously, hamstrings can be lingering. We want to be real careful not to bring him back too soon. But LZ is a playmaker. He finishes around the rim. He knows where his teammates are, and LZ's going to be a special player in the program.
Brian, do you see a different Bird mentally, physically, after all his experiences in these training camps in the NBA before he pulled out of the draft?
Yeah, I think all the work that Miles Bird put in leading to the draft is paying dividends for him as a player and us as a team. You know, he looks better. He looks more confident. He's playing at a high level right now in our workouts, and his numbers are bearing that out with his shooting percentage and his assists. So Miles is practicing very well right now, and we have to keep him on that path.
What difference do you think having a pass-first point guard in Sean Newman is going to impact the offense this year?
Well, I know his teammates will like it, so we'll see if his coaches do, yeah. We got guys that can score the ball, and so to have a pass-first point guard is a good thing. because he's throwing it to guys that can put it in the basket. Reese Waters and Bird and Guath and Heidi and BJ. We have a lot of guys that can score that basketball. And so to have a guy that's looking to distribute and get them the ball in places where they can be successful is good for all of us.
Looking back, how much did you miss Reese last year, and how much is he motivated this year to make up for that?
Yeah, we miss Reese a lot. I mean, in the preseason, he was our only first-team preseason conference player, and so you lose him for the entire year, and that's tough to deal with. But we had other guys step up and play big roles. Now with Reese back and all the minutes those other guys got should make us more dangerous. So Reese looks good in practice. You know, it looks like he's getting his game timing back. You miss a whole year, and you're out there and you look good, but you look a little a step off. And I think over the last week, he looks like his timing's getting better, that he's getting more comfortable out there and he's playing at the pace he needs to play at to be successful.
Coach, these closed-door scrimmages are turning into scrimmages with arenas full. Do you see that as a positive for the players to get that taste of the full energy of the crowd as opposed to just in an empty arena?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, that's, you know, you have your closed-door scrimmage you used to have, and you'd say, well, they looked okay. What are they going to look like when 12,000 people are in there? You know, usually when you add fans, it speeds things up. You know, it gets them a little bit out of control at times. And so we'll have scrimmages now. We'll not only see how they look against their opponent, but how they look with people in the stands. And I think that will be good for all of us.
If you look at your Mountain West schedule, you play Boise, New Mexico, Colorado State at home the first month in January. And then there's a 4-game stretch at the end of February where you got to play all 3 of those on the road. How challenging is that going to be late in the season?
I hope we build a big lead going into down the stretch, because down the stretch is going to be tough playing those teams on the road to end the season. So we've had it both ways, where we've played from the front and we've played behind and had a catch up. And so every season has a rhythm and a pace of its own. You want to play good all year, but we know that doesn't happen. There's always lulls in the season. You know, look at the Padres. They're dealing with that now, and now they got a couple wins, and so a game out of first. And that's after a stretch where you'd say, wow, that was a tough stretch, and still a game out of first. So every season, no matter what the sport, has a pace and a rhythm of its own, and this will be the same for us this year. You know, I hope we have a lead going down the stretch, but if we don't, we'll have to find a way to be tough enough mentally and physically to win on the road to hopefully win another conference championship.
Brian, the growth, maturation, learning curve for the other 7-footer, Thor, what's that like? Where is he on that process?
Yeah, Thakbor came back, his ankle was bothering him, and now he's finally practicing, and he looks good. I mean, obviously, he's a redshirt freshman, and I think when Magoon started after his redshirt year, he looked like he was going to be good, but there were challenges trying to get his timing right and playing actually game minutes, and I think Thak will be the same way. He looks good in practice right now, but it's going to be more physical. It's going to be more challenging. I think young bigs have the toughest time in college. You know, they go from in high school playing on eggshells. If they turn the wrong way, someone falls down, it's a foul on them. And then they get here and they get brutalized physically right from the start. And so that happened to Heidi when he had to go against Ledee in his first year. And, you know, so Thak is a young big that's learning how to play physical right now and doing a good job of it. So we're excited for his future in our program.
This is the time of year when you typically have high school recruits come take visits. How has your philosophy changed towards recruiting high school? Some programs are barely recruiting them at all and just, you know, going through the transfer portal. What's your philosophy, and particularly this season, how many do you think you might take, and what kind of players are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, our program's based on our high school kids, you know, and that's how you build culture. So we're always going to invest in high school recruiting, whether it was Nate Mensah 5 years, Gwuka Rope 5 years, Adam Seiko 6 years, Lamont Butler was 4 years, Keishad Johnson 4 years in our program, even though they finished their last year somewhere else. These are guys that spent 4 and 5 years in our program. And then we offset it with guys like Jaden Ledee and Matt Bradley and Darian Trammell, guys that come in here because we have a need and we have a space for them. And so we're always going to recruit high school kids. How many we take, whether we take 3 or 4 in a class, that might be a lot. 4 might be a lot. But I think it's realistic that we could take 3 in this year's class if things break the right way, that I could see us taking 3 high school kids.
Does evolve to that, because it's such a big part of your culture, there's even more emphasis on recruiting guys of high character who are going to bring that culture?
Yeah, you want to recruit guys that are willing to play as freshmen. You know, sometimes you can take a big and they're more willing to say, I'm going to redshirt, I'm going to take longer. But most of the high school kids, they want to play right away. And so you're trying to take guys with a chance to play right away. But you also want high character kids from good families that also know that everything's not always smooth sailing, that there's going to be adversity and are going to stick it out when things aren't going well. And I think I'd be shocked if we didn't have the lowest transfer rate of any program in the country. I think every underclassman that could have come back last year came back. Now we lost Nick Boyd as a fifth-year senior. You know, we've lost some fifth-year seniors. And I can understand that. Some of these guys are finishing their 4 years, getting a degree, and then they're saying, well, this is my 5th year. I'm going to go be a pro somewhere else and make a lot of money. Now with the judge's ruling and revenue sharing intact, I don't think there'll be that kind of money that was available this year in the future. Last year was a big money dump. And this year I think there'll be more control over that amount, even though the truth will be told when all these schools give their money out, who's living within what that new ruling is. And so it'll be settled in the courthouse somewhere. But I think our chances to continue to maintain kids in our program is really high.
Coach, when it comes to the UCLA exhibition and the proceeds of that going to your NIL fund, what is that going to do to benefit your program next year and years to come?
Yeah, I mean, revenue sharing, I think our move to the Pac-12 is going to be a great thing for us. And I think it will create more revenue. But right now, as we transition, that revenue is not there. We're in transition to update production facilities and logoing, and there's a lot that goes into this conference move. And so all the revenue I'm sharing is the revenue I'm raising right now. So I'm out there still raising money. We're not the Big Ten where every school is splitting $80 million, and the revenue sharing's easy. You know, so we're still out there raising money daily to try to be competitive and stay competitive at the highest level. And raising money in this UCLA exhibition is important to us. Every dollar counts. And so sell tickets, put a crowd in there, and produce money for our revenue sharing with our men's basketball team.
Is it your understanding that the money raised in the UCLA game for revenue sharing will go exclusively to your program, or will it just go to the revenue sharing fund that other programs could tap into?
I think it's going to men's basketball revenue sharing. So, and like I said, if I had all the money in the world, I'd share a little bit, but I don't have all the money in the world. So I'm still raising enough to keep us relevant. So that's what my goal is. Just like football and soccer and women's basketball, you know, everyone's trying to keep their programs relevant at a high level, and part of that is raising money. It's the new environment. And, you know, I know a lot of people, they don't like it. But I tell them, guess what? They're doing it in the Ivy League, and they're doing it at Notre Dame, and they're doing it at Duke, and they're doing it at Michigan. It's the new normal. So if you're a fan of college athletics and you want to continue to be a fan, then you have to support it at some level. And until we have the kind of revenue, generate revenue where we can, as a university, can relieve some of that burden. But right now, I'm still raising money. That's part of what I do, and I love it. I love doing it, because it's important to my program, our program, in this university that I do so.
That is an exhibition game, but you put people in there, you're going against a team with a pedigree like UCLA. How far into that game do you expect everyone to forget it doesn't count in the standings and start treating it like this is an NCAA tournament?
Oh, that thing's going to count when we're on the floor. It's going to count at every level. Both teams want to play. Well, last year we played UCLA in a closed-door scrimmage, and as much as both teams wanted to win, UCLA had a different formula than us. They had set rotations they were going to play, and 5 guys in, 5 guys in, 5 guys in, and we played it more like a game. We subbed liberally, but we didn't have a formula going in. This is the combinations we're going to look at. And obviously last year we didn't have Nick Boyd, and that was B.J. Davis's big coming out. He had 24, 26 points in the scrimmage. And so these things are important, and playing in front of crowds are important, and that's why Mick Cronin is doing this because he wants his team tested early to see what they're about, just like we do in front of a crowd, and this will have a game feel. Both teams will play it like a game. Well, whether the subbing is as liberal, I don't know. You know, at some level, it still is an exhibition, and you're going to want to see more bodies. You'll play a full bench. You won't shorten your bench and just say we're only going to play 7 guys. We'll play everybody on the roster, in my opinion, and give everybody a look in that kind of environment to get our team ready for the season.
Brian, with separation from the Mountain West, is San Diego State being forced to leave behind NCAA unit money that you guys earned in the tournaments?
Yeah, I think the Mountain West will keep those shares. I don't know what percentage of it, but I think the Mountain West will keep those shares. So they should be sending me a thank you card. We're leaving them some money. If I haven't got it yet. So maybe when we leave, they'll thank us.
Is there an aspect of this year's team, you mentioned you're deep, you're talented, that you see a question mark or something that may keep you from hitting your ceiling?
It's just the daily stuff. It's rebounding. We got to rebound better than we did a year ago. We have to score the ball at a more efficient level and, you know, all the things that coaches look at. We're going to guard and we're going to try to rebound at a high level because that's how our program's built. And then we're going to try to be as efficient as we can offensively, playing with great freedom and trying to find a way to put the ball in the basket. And the nights when it goes in, we're going to win by good margins. And the nights when it doesn't go in, we're going to win with our defense. But we're going to find a way to win games.
All the years you've been here, is this the deepest roster you think you've had?
I hope so, yeah. It's a deep roster. Like I said, I usually don't want this many players on the roster that are this talented. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and say, well, all the talent, they're going to win for sure. Talent doesn't guarantee winning. Playing team basketball and playing the right way and playing together, that guarantees winning. So individually, yeah, we have a lot of talent, but can we put a team on the floor that'll play well enough together to win games? That's the key to everything.
You players like Latrell Davis and Jeremiah Odin with familiarity with Mountain West, does that help depth and preparation for those big Mountain West games?
Yeah, these guys have both played in the Mountain West. You know, Latrell, like I said, I think he hung 26 and 22 on us last year. So you can't stop him, then steal him. That's what I did. Stole Latrell from my friend Timmy Miles. And Odin, I like Jeremiah Odin out of Wyoming. I tried to get him to come here when he left Wyoming, but he went home to Chicago, and then he had an injury like Reese last year where he couldn't play his final year, and I got him back here as a 6-year senior. So I always like experienced guys. You can't replace experience. And so he's got a lot of basketball knowledge and a lot of minutes, and we're going to take advantage of that in his final year.